Hello, my name is Teresita Blanco. This is sister. We're gonna be continuing with Life Makeover, but mostly like the side stories. And recording my voice. Hello, hello. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we have voice. Yeah, they're like in the allies, and it's our level, and then we go down from there. Let's see, we did that one. Alright, so let's do this one.
It's late. The roads around here.
Faint light flickering in the misty rain. In a narrow corner, my gaze locked with that of a man, and his shirt half off, and his golden brown hair dripped with water beneath his soaking shirt I could faintly see. He seemed to have murmured something, his eyes holding a trance over days as if they meant mine. The next moment he stood up from the water. I shouldn't be looking at this. Panic averted my gaze and thrust the flowers I was holding towards the man. I'm sorry, Mr. Larry, these are your flowers delivered by Agent 1013. But in the blink of an eye I was forward with the flowers allowed to the warm, steamy embrace. Huh? What's happening? To understand how things ended up like this, we need to rewind earlier that evening. Final delivery done, and the satisfaction of an end to the delivery list made me ruins a bit more lively. And the world had turned into ruins ever since the robo-apocalypse struck a few years ago. I don't know. So it's like meta-apocalypse but with robots. Or Terminator Salvation. Cities fell overgrown with weeds. And rampaging machines clearing the land, and humans had to rebuild outposts and take refuge in the underground shelters. And we had to adapt to a life devoid of sunlight. And this gave rise to a new profession, couriers, the ones who deliver goods between different outposts. As the catastrophe subsided, we started taking on a more personal orders. And we're just like the average delivery persons in peaceful times. And many clients asked us to retire items from the former home, seeing of personal significance. It's an exhausting job, but helping others is what my work is about. And I thought of the little girl's smile when she received her doll from the last delivery. I searching with satisfaction as I prepared to head back to the outpost for some rest. And suddenly, an untimely notification chimed. You have a new delivery order, automatically accepted. Come on, I was about to clock out, damn, auto accept. I got but eventually came in and opened my digital terminal. Sure enough, a new order was sitting on what should have been an empty list. The biggest items are flowers and seeds. I didn't expect anyone to be so romantic in today's world. An hour later, I rang the doorbell with the flowers and curious about this Larry who placed the order. Half a minute passed and no one answered. And I rang the bell again with no response, and I tried the communication terminal, but there was no reply either. Holding on to the shutter, I knocked on the door, and to my surprise the door wasn't fully closed and opened instantly. Anyone there, Mr. Larry? Your flowers have arrived. I hesitantly stepped inside, only to bump into the scene of the horror to look at. And back to the present, Larry had changed clothes with an awkward and confused expression. Sorry, I mistook you for someone else. Alright, so you were just peacocking for a different date. No worries, I'm sorry too, I stammered. And I was so shocked that he hugged me that I instantly broke free and even slapped him. But as soon as I struggled, he sobered up and stepped back, avoiding my slap. But he looked at me again, his gaze filled with an emotion I couldn't quite decipher. Oh, it's nothing, I must have been drunk. And he rubbed his forehead with a wry smile. And when he looked at me, his expression was polite and composed. The flowers are beautiful, thank you for your time and efforts. You're welcome, it's my job. I realized now that he had calmed down. And after all, I was the one who barged into his room and started the little mishap. After confirming the payment, I left with Larry's polite thanks. Halfway back, I felt something in my pocket, a small package I had forgotten about. Then, with everything that happened, I completely forgot about the seeds. As the Jen encoded, I headed back to Larry's home. To my surprise, I hadn't gone far when I spotted him, and he stood amidst the ruins, wiping a tombstone so tenderly as if he were caressing a lover's hair, and the flowers are deliberately quietly before a tombstone, while wild petals whisper endless longing. The scene was so heavy with grief that even the air was tinged with sorrow. And feeling sorry for my intrusion, I was about to leave when he suddenly turned as he sensed in my presence. Our eyes locked once again, and for a second time tonight I clearly saw the lingering sadness in his gaze. Sir, I forgot to give you the seeds. Quickly pulling the seeds from my pocket, I explained that I hadn't meant to intrude on his privacy. He didn't seem to mind, though instead Larry was more surprised to see me.
The roads around here are pretty rough. Where are you headed?
He pulled out a silver key. Let me give you a ride. I should have declined his offer. After a courier, there's no reason to interact with a client beyond delivery. But for some reason I nodded. Maybe it was because of the elegant key in his hand looked oddly familiar. Larry drove with remarkable skill, though there was no road left in these parts of the Rumble ruins, and watching his focused reflection in the rearview mirror, I suddenly had a déjà vu. Something tells me he's used to driving with more flair. The strange thought flickered into my mind, and suddenly the car jolted violently and came to a screeching halt. Instantly I grabbed the handle above the door to steady myself, and a laser vision towards the hood and melting a hole right through it. Oh, it's a mech, stay down, I'll handle this. And combat is an essential skill for any courier, and seeing another laser beam about to strike us, I reached into my pocket for my weapon and pushed Larry's head down. And after all, it didn't have a few of those tricks up my sleeve, I wouldn't survive this long in my line of work. To my surprise, Larry floored the gas pedal and spun the steering wheel to the extreme, and the car evaded the attack at an angle that seemed most impossible. Impressive driving. This is really familiar. It's like he knew how I was supposed to drive last day, and there was no reason to dwell on the odd feeling as the Meg was hot on our trail. Despite Larry's exceptional driving, the rugged terrain put us at a disadvantage against a flying enemy, and my chest kept missing due to the constant bumping and sleeve. This won't last. Determined, I rolled down the window and leaned out for a better aim, and the electromagnetic bullet sliced through the air, finally hitting the Meg with precision. Spark flew as it crashed into the ruins. Got it. Before I could steer, my Triumph was Larry, another laser beam streaked towards her. Then the second one. Hold tight. Before I could get back inside, everything started spinning as the sudden force flung me to my back seat. Ah, that hurts. My balls are coming apart. Recovering the shock, I quickly raised my gun before the Meg could attack again. Join your friend as a scrap metal. And another burst of sparks erupted with that, and the battle finally ending. And a little lasso relief as Larry slowly brought the car to a stop. Not bad teamwork, right, Miss Courier? And that was close. Way, are you hurt? My heart skipped a bit when I noticed the blood stain on his waist. When the second man ambushed us, Larry turned the car around and shielded me, taking the hit himself. It's just a scratch, protecting a lady's a gentleman's duty, isn't it? And besides, if it weren't for your amazing chef, we wouldn't have made it. He replied with a casual smile, but the scary blood stains on his shirt made me feel even more guilty. What else could I do for Larry? Once again, I secretly delivered some medical supplies and trinkets about him into the ruins. Unable to contain my worry, I asked my companion robot. After the robot apocalypse, I lost almost all of my memories, and I couldn't even remember my name. Ah, the amnesia. When I woke up, I was right next to me and called me honor and never leaving my side. And being a courier is a dangerous work, and over the years, I have become my only friend. Significant milestones attended, honor, I recommend rest. Well, we'll just be grasping a straw here, and you wouldn't understand this feeling. Larry was injured for saving me, and he was just a scratch, but he's still bedridden. And I tried to raise it, but he kept telling me not to worry, so I used my job as an excuse to send him medicine. Then I'm approaching, please check your order now. I should focus on work or grab something to eat later. And I tried to push the mess on my mind aside and open the interface, but the unease only grew. This order again declined, still not replying. And then Larry got hurt. I wanted to send him back home, but he insisted that getting me back first was more important. So after I received this strange request, find a ship in the abandoned building in the security bureau. The bureau was a major battleground between humans and mechs. That place is dangerous, and I contacted the clients for detail, but there was no response. And with the orders coming up, I ended up pushing this other one to the back burner. The deadline is tomorrow. I should try contacting the client again. Miss Courier? Larry, what are you doing here? It's my home is here, and shouldn't I be the one asking you that? Oh no, I was lost in thought that I forgot to move away from this place. I felt a bit awkward, but Larry just laughed it off. Just kidding, I know you've been sneaking me the medicine and food these days, thank you. I had to do something. I told you not to worry. And my injury is almost healed and you can stop worrying, alright? I wanted to say more, but I interrupted me with another reminder. Then I'm approaching, please check your order now. Looks like the courier's work is never done, huh? And now that this order is just a bit tricky. And with no one else around to talk to, I found myself venting my frustration to Larry. And he listened patiently at first, but then he froze when he saw the order on my screen. What? Artsy's sister. She's my client, do you know her? I asked with surprise, but Larry remained silent, staring blankly at the name. Larry, are you okay? I called his name a few more times before he snapped out of the shock and looking pale. Are you alright? Did your wound tear? As I reached out to steady him with my concern, Larry grabbed my hand. You're going to complete this order, right? Can I go with you? Artsy's sister was my lover, but because of the robo-apocalypse, after Larry told me his past with Artsy's sister. His eyes grew dim as he mentioned the robo-apocalypse, and he left the story unfinished. Robo-apocalypse, or just call it Terminator Starvation. I thought of the tombstone that he tenderly cleaned and decided to respect his feelings. Along the way we encountered many mech attacks, but this time we were prepared and safely reached what was once the heart of the city. Now it's nothing but desolation, as in the vibrant metropolis never existed and had faded into oblivion. You couldn't see so many stars back then. I was set aside and Larry looked up in the starry sky melancholic. A sharp pain pierced my chest, and for years, even with the memories of the past, I felt different from others. But at the moment I was struck by sadness for not being able to understand his words. Would I be closer to him if I could get that? I thought back to his case when we first met, and I was filled with surprise, confusion, and nostalgia, glistening with unshed tears. And he claimed to mistake me for someone else, but who could it be? And since then he raised his life just to shield me from the mechs. And today on the way there, I could capture the complex emotions every time he glanced at me. I pretended not to notice, but I saw it all. Why is it all happening? And why does my heart ache so much right now? Want a drink? I accepted an open beer from Larry and lightly tapped it against my own, and he smiled slightly and his eyes holding an emotion I couldn't understand. You know, I forgot so many things. Larry, unusual quiet, didn't respond, so I continued on my own. But after meeting you, I started to feel like I might remember something. Though judging by your reaction, we didn't know each other before we... And did I know Artsy's sister? That name does feel oddly familiar. Maybe I'll get my memory back once I complete this request, and we can definitely do it. And maybe you'll find what was left by the most important person to you. I pushed down the strange emotions and took a sip. This stuff is choking me. I walked off and uncontrollably, and with my eyes squeezed shut, I had a soft chuckle beside me, and I had gently patted my back. And when I looked up, Larry's face was inches from mine. And the time seemed to freeze as his gaze moved from my eyes downwards and lingered on my lips, and the distance between us closed, and the hand on my back slipped to my shoulder, pulling me closer, and awaiting his next move, I closed my eyes, and my heart pounded louder than ever, reverberating through the night and to the still empty night. Then I'm approaching, please check your order now. Seriously? The chemistry vanished in an instant, and Larry snapped back to reality, releasing my shoulder at that moment. I'm sorry, I shouldn't. It is just not the right time. He left the foot hanging in the air as he jumped off the hood and quietly walked away. And meanwhile, I was left with the lingering warmth on my cheeks and feeling utterly confused. The next morning, we followed our plan and reached another security bureau, and the place was bombed, and finally the same mentioning request was still there, and inside along the ship was a ladder. Hello to anyone reading this, to this another me. And Larry noticed the shock of the girl in front of him and thought and stepped back. Larry was reminded of the crazy plan as his sister once mentioned from her the moment he first saw her. It was before the robo-apocalypse. As a mechanical researcher at the security bureau, as his sister was passionate about humans and machines. Let's build two robots after ourselves. That way, no matter who leaves this world first, the one left behind won't feel lonely.
I'd much rather be there for you myself, and I hope you feel the same way.
He brushed the topic aside, and Larry never imagined that the apocalypse would come a few days later, and then she would be taken from him forever. She must not have gone through the plan he told himself countless drunken nights, otherwise how could he feel so alone? But then that day, through the blurry eyes, he saw the familiar face again, and a face engraved in his memory. But I don't have time to find your body and install the ship. So I'm leaving you with the one final call. And if you truly is a miracle in this world, and one that allows you to meet him again, you'll receive my message. The ship contains all my memories, and if you're willing, please stay by his side in my place. It was a short letter, but I stared at the words for a long time. The amount of information made my body tremble. Larry noticed my reaction but didn't approach. Instead, he pulled over a chair. Did you recognize me from the very beginning? Larry nodded with a complex expression, and I felt lost and inexplicably but a bit hurt. You don't have to force yourself. Seeing me overwhelmed, Larry smiled gently as reassuring as ever. I only figured out what was going on after seeing the request, but I didn't come here to convince you to install the ship. No matter what happens in the past, now you have the right to choose your own life. Besides, I'll grow old and one day I'll die and leave this world. And if you choose to accept all of this, it means you have to endure the same loneliness just as I have. To be honest, I don't want you to go through that. So whether you accept the past memories and my love, I want you to make your choice your own. That's about it. What do you think, Mr. Writer? I looked at the painting in front of me and told Larry this love story between a robot and a human. Not bad, Miss Detective. It has quite an eye for storytelling, but I haven't decided on the ending yet, and should the heroine install the ship or not? How about this? Many years later, the heroine and the little robot are still working as couriers, and they live simple, happy lives just as she hoped, and helping people along the way. And one evening she returned home and there was a gentle knock on the door, and she heard a familiar voice and said, I'm back. And I was waiting for the story to continue, but Larry didn't go on. Is that it? Yes, that's the end. So, was he the one knocking? Stories are just like paintings. They are open to interpretation. What fixated on a single answer? But if it were me, it wouldn't change my love for the heroine no matter what choice she made. Because no matter which version of her it is, she'll always be the one I hold dear in my heart. And that's how you have your cake, your post-apocalyptic cake and eat it. The next one. Did I do this one? I don't remember. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that one was it. This one there. This one's definitely new.
Whatever you like.
Guess we're doing the kinky ones today. Moving along. At least he was undergoing inspection. A robotic voice came from someone near to the door, making the cramped space even smaller. Red light blinked down from above, glaring down on every item stored in the room. There is an equipment here, just a silver equipment black and a target case. The faint breathing of a man. Initiating packaging procedure. His gloves barely fit, sliding loose at the slightest shift. As if responding to a command, the crimson band started moving and extending. They stretched out and layering out, each locking in rebellious fabric. And as the sun escaped his throat, but his expression stayed calm. It was like he was following a preset program, playing his part in the strange game. Preparations nearly complete, and the cold mechanical press against his skin and directing the next action. The man paused and his hands behind his back, and he let himself be strapped back to the chair. Entering action process. The binding started, his breathing picked up, and another round of frenzy was about to kick in. And the spoiler glass clicked in perfect rhythm and casting vibrant colors like scattered stars. The shadows beyond the lights, unspoken secrets linger. The guests here have the unique title of Connoisseurs. This is what I bid. I'll double that. And as the numbers on the screens kept going, then the music paused here and there before starting up again. And I tried to blend in, calculating how to buy enough time with the lowest budget. I'll double that. Double the button. Going once, twice. Wait. As I hit the button, the mechanical voice was cut off. This is what I bid. And the spotlight fell on my hand, and the room zeroed on me. This time the silence stretched. Congratulations, Connoisseur, as a sister. You're now on ID 0601. You will become his first and only patron. A figure in the corner opened a small door for me and bowing a perfect 90 degrees in invitation. Connoisseur, as a sister, enjoy the night. To the doorway I entered the hidden corridor leading to a secret club known as the Extravagant Prices. Saucers filled in the air with richness and casting a scent of elegant look to the hallway. Behind the fabric, daring patterns leaked through, and a few drops from a flower somewhere reached my nose, bringing a strange aroma. And I went straight into the room and opened the door and asked his key, trying my best not to be distracted. Inside the closet space, it was just me and my expensive purchase, named ID 0601. Noticing my presence, the man pressed me against the wall, firm and unyielding like he was running a security check. What do you think you're doing? Another man who looked exactly like Gerald and realized he's much stronger than me. It's me, put me down. At my command, the man stopped and released me. My apologies, I didn't know it was you. Guess that there's still room for improvement. Who told you to check on me like that? No specific command. That action was driven by a subconscious of my creator. Alright, new order, go back to how you were when I came in and I'll look closer. Right. The man's posture settled down and relaxed and ready for inspection. I let myself relax too. I wet my hair from the blind spot and leaned and held closely his face. The bindings gave a quick twitch and went still again. Don't move, I'm running a test. What kind of test? Do you need guidance? Just testing your tolerance, no guidance needed. Okay, what was Life Makeover smoking? Sweat was tracing down his ass, dampening the bindings around his waist. You look sweaty and need to loosen this bind. Don't want you overheating. The temperature is fine as long as you think so. I won't overheat. Alright, I'll leave you like this then. The uniform of this place is very something, and I casually tugged at the outfit, untying one of the red knots. This stuff comes apart too easily, too shabby of an outfit. The real Jeva will never put up with this. Before I could complete the routine check, my com screen lit up. It was Gerard and a large bank transfer for him. After a quick check, I noticed that the transfer was more than enough to cover my purchase, quote unquote. Thanks, Gerard, really generous of you. And what's going on? Don't forget about our mission. His voice was calm as ever, though I felt a little guilty. Relax, I won't forget. Good, all clear here. See you soon. Gerald hung out awkwardly. With a mission on my mind, I pulled out 0601's blindfold. Pinhole and cameras were all over his body, and his eyes controlled the recording and storage and removal. Wait, how did I forget? Gerald's using this for live surveillance. So he saw everything I did. It's a robot. So I saw everything I did. My palms went hot from the realization. Gabriel's on his back, and I need to wrap this up on the double. And I leaned close to 0606 and gave him my command. Your part in this mission is done. Now I'm dismantling you. Did anything come in my inspection? No, you're fine. Then I'm no longer needed. Correct. Understood, please proceed. This Gabriel, or rather this copy, cooperated without a fuss, and moving to me gave access with his consciousness. And as I pulled the hidden chips large in his body, where's the last chip? And I searched every spot but couldn't find it. Could you wait a moment? Surprisingly, the compliant Jera spoke up. Why? I would prefer you wait until he returns before removing the final chip. And it was one of the few times he said anything personal. My job is to keep you safe until he's here, and I'll self-destruct when he's returned to you. Self-destruct. My hands froze mid-motion. We're living in troubled times with constant gunfights, and romance is a luxury, and the successful generally manage to get rid of their emotion. Those who couldn't will find ways to restrain themselves. Only in places like the Connoisseur house could people hope for fleeting pleasure, but without something real, even those moments were just void in the end. Gerard, ever heard of the Connoisseur house? Yeah, I've been keeping tabs on there for a while, and I heard it's a unique place, and I've been wanting to see it for myself. And it's full of temptations, a dangerous place. Also, they made a robotic copy of this guy. And then they sold his image and likeness for weird purposes to other humans. What temptation? Be honest, you've been there, haven't you? I have zero interest, just doing what it takes to complete the mission. In this day and age, everyone has secrets, and by they, you're a CEO of 10 company, and I am Miss Artsy's sister, a special design consultant. By now, we're partners in the underground for cybersecurity, and our shows that the Connoisseur offers emotional service with all kinds of androids, and under the guise of Connoisseur, the auction of these exclusive models luring in the clients. But by using the client's interaction with the androids, they gather personal data and sell it to the black market. It's like their companion boss is selling their personal information to like hackers and stuff. Honestly, I didn't want you on this one. But if I said no, you would just go solo. Of course, and since when have I run away from a risk? To keep me safe, Gerald picked up an android nearly identical to himself from his storage. This is the only way I know you'll be safe. And he nodded towards his look-alike. I trained him and had him applied to the Connoisseur house. And 0601 will recognize you and protect you, and self-destruct is necessary. Self-destruct, huh? My self-destruction is the key to this mission. Sorry have I made you uncomfortable. It's fine. At 06 and one steer, I noticed his eyes. Metal, yes, but somehow soft and almost cloudy. Stay with me a bit longer. With a placid motion, Gavin and I split up, and 06 quickly established himself as a valued staff member working in the Connoisseur house. So what is the job of our 601? He's a cook, a bartender, gathering intel. A cook, really? I thought. It would be risky if someone took an interest in him. And what's that supposed to mean? Nothing, let's just get this done, wish us luck. Tonight's a big night, and I attended as a buyer, and while Gabriel sneaks in to grab their transaction records. Hey, is this the one I requested here tonight? Of course, 06 gets strictly to the kitchen, and 601 is just for you, and he's ready to bid the right price. Funny, I met with 06 and with a huge cost, though it was Gerald's money. It's getting late, and I wonder if Gerald found the files yet. I sharply jotted me back. It was 06. What's wrong? 06 didn't respond, and his unfurled limb in his gaze going vacant. I knew that this was an android slipping into recall mode, and my comm device buzzed, and I answered fast. And between the humming and the buzzing of the electricity and machines, Gerald's faint voice was barely recognizable. I got the files, don't forget the ship. Gotta stay. And the line went dead, and when I tried back, no one answered. and I could hear more clicking from Sivasi as his body started to loose and my pulse quaking. Time is running out, please continue dismantling. And Sivasi invited me to dismantle his body as he began his self-destruction. And in such way he really reminded me of Geralt, acting on his best judgment with little emotion. Alright, stay still, let's just get this over. And I steadied his arm and resumed dismantling. Where's the last chip? Without any more resistance, he opened his mouth. Here, hold on while I get it. And are you concerned for me? Thank you, but I don't feel pain. The last chip was very deep and I had to dig hard to get it. And it was an odd-looking piece, a small solid like a polished bead. With the final chip removed, the man in front of me powered down and reduced to just scrap. Then I noticed something moving in the doorway. The remains of him were slowly disintegrating into invisible particles fading into the air. Who? And I stepped back with caution, weapon ready. And suddenly the lights cut and a figure slipped into the hidden doorway moving beside me. And I pressed my weapon against his head. But the man reached, flipping off the hidden switch that only I and the maker knew about. Before I could react, he had scooped me and opened up the door. The strong light strong as my eyes as we sped down and cold air rushing, and my feet barely touching the ground. And with a sharp turn of the corner we stopped abruptly and the lights dimmed. And I found myself lowered into the bed of the crimson satin after the door was shut, and in the red glow the man's face came close to focus. Now is not the time to leave, stay here for now. This is another hidden room which felt different from before, and even the air was sweet. Jeva switched on the light and then knelt before me. Your shoe was way too loud. And they guided and they gilded with gold, and I chose this to fit my business look. And as my shoes were creaking again, Jeva had already removed them. And what do you think you're doing? Jeva didn't answer and started working on my shoes. He got rid of the heels and added a silencer and set them back on the bed. There, for you to walk on your own later. Great, let me try them. And I slipped them out testing, and they're now soft and soundless. Call receive and please wait a moment. And my hands brushed the call button, and of course there was no cancel option. We'll get caught if someone comes in, and we need to figure out something that'll look normal. Only if 06 was still around. Well, he's already been recalled. And I glanced at Jeva who shared the same face as 06, and then over at the back and white outfit on the table. About idea sparkled, and Jeva followed my gaze with a confused expression. His confusion was replaced by helplessness as the footsteps outside the door drew closer. Fine, but just this once. Yeah, now hurry and put on the kinky outfit. I practically pushed him into the changing room, and then I came just in time as he was emerging in uniform. And it seems as he was dressed this way, but Jeva took a look and indeed in the open. Oh my god, what the hell is this? Is everything I'm looking for free? Yes, fit to tie, but even the buttons don't come loose. Here, let me. And I reached out into help and got first button done. But as soon as I tried the second, the first one popped, and same thing as the third, and another knock came on the door, and panic set, and I saw her yank loose the whole roll of button. Stay calm and remember you're a guest. Right, and you got an expensive purchase, so I can do whatever I want to you.
Exactly. Now relax. It's just us and you.
Gilbert and I are very close, but this is the first time we are close in such a well-direct way, and my heart was racing. Drink this, it's mild, so don't worry. And he poured some red liquid in my glass, mixing into the clear liquid. Thank you. The knocking got louder. And are you enjoying yourself, Miss Connoisseur? It was the owner's voice. And we froze for a moment, seconds before the door cracked open and let in a silver light. And my glass was full and poured and let in it, and the liquid trickled down my skin. And just as I was savoring the view, the light interrupted, breaking my focus. Oh, such a bad time for me to interrupt. Out. A matter forcing my voice. And my apologies, please allow me to make up for the intrusion. Enjoy your time, bye. And as the owner activated the room, the lights dimmed and a sweet scent filled in the room. And I turned to say something, but a warm breath met mine, and I followed the cold sleep against my lips and sweat with a slight tingle. and my mind went black carpet on the shifting warmth and chill. Forget about the outside, just focus on me. Words like emotions that are dismantled as mission filtered through my mind, and they all tangled up with a mix of satisfaction and guilt, and my nerves relaxed and then tightened, and I kept reminding myself to focus on the mission, and yet my body didn't respond, savoring every bit of warmth, and inside the room the sounds grew louder while the noise outside faded completely. My glass is empty, let me feel it. And as I filled the empty glass, Gera was swatted away, and pouring the liquid over his head, and the wine slid down his face and neck and throbbing shut, and another cold splash followed, and the shadow under the glass filled the room. What? And Broadway liquid tingled, and Gera gritted his teeth and his breathing strained, and I held his injured hand meeting his gaze. And it's the first time I ever seen him look like this. There's something off in the air. And he let go of my hand and placed my coat over my shoulders, avoiding my gaze. They're gone, there's no need to keep out this weird act. And how do you know I was acting? I slipped on the clothes, rising on tiptoe, and placing a light kiss on his lips like a gentle pedal, and calming my heartbeat as I settled. Jebba opened his gaze in surprise and met my gaze. Well, I must have been quite convincing, and you had to get me a reward for this. You can have whatever you want if we can get back safely. We made it out of the Connoisseur house, bringing back all of the gathered intel for our organization, and the transaction records revealed the black market bias behind it all. And the Connoisseur house was also shut down for blatant privacy violations. And my exceptional performance helped me pass the assessment and earn me a new responsibility. Congratulations on passing the assessment, and it's a cable, so what are you getting me?
Whatever you like.
Really, Gerba, and you better keep your word. And I pulled out a suit in his exact size, and a familiar one just like the one he wore back in the Connoisseur house. The anticipation on his face shifted to something more complicated, and the smile faded from his lips. Whatever you like? Gerba sighed, and his expression grew serious. Just joking, I have all the options prepared, and before I could finish, the suit in my hand suddenly disappeared. It's not like I can show you if you really want to see me in this stupid suit. And seeing Gerba holding out the suit and looking all determined, I felt a little guilty inside. Wait, I'm kind of hungry now. Can I change my mind? No going back. Wearing the outfit, Gerba stepped in front of me, looking outward and holding snacks. Nice eating and grabbing for once. And I eagerly beat the fresh pastry, and Gerba's face turned bright red, and for the first time I saw unease on his face. Alright, you got so many of my demands, I guess I can throw in a little reward. Anything you want. Anything? And I had me a glass filled with familiar red liquid already mixed and ready, and sweetness in my tongue, and I could hear his breathing quickening, and I felt a tiny electric shots were seeping through me, and then the memories came rushing back, and put the glass down just a little nice flickering and went out. Power out, and it's a full moon tonight. Perfect time for werewolves. And I looked him to his eye and seen the reflection of me and the moon, and he leaned in his warm breath, brushing my and sending a tingle down my spine. And the scent of him mixed with the mound surrounding a soft sweet cloud. Really annoying, yes. And I changed another posture, losing my balance a little, but my arms are there to keep me steady, and there's nothing to worry about in the dark. Under the moonlight, the remaining liquid in the glass was like a special sign, and the light swelled in the cup, and after a few soft shakes, Jeva placed a kiss on my already sweating neck, and the light scattered like stars drifting towards the galaxy, and it felt like we were somewhere strange for a long time, or maybe just the witness of a burst of a nebula. And when I snapped back to reality, the person in front of me felt a bit different, but somehow more familiar. Now it's my time for my reward for putting up with this nonsense. Alright, let's see. I read this one. I guess let's do this one next, and then we cut, and then off we go with Life Makeover. Nothing comes to mind. Stuck in the office for days on a tricky design commission, and I suddenly stretched my body when I heard I's voice.
New message.
It was a reminder for an appointment, but Roy, amusement park or no, as I suddenly remember to display Roy's cocky mean. Good morning, are you still at the agency? Just reminding you about our date today. Why do you look so guilty? I forgot. Well, just what I expected. If you're tired, we can reschedule. But I want to go to the amusement park. Well, fine. It's still early and let's take rest and we can call leave later. Sure, let's meet at the entrance. After the call, I lean closer to my phone and examining my reflection. Do I look exhausted? Roy starts to worry. Although I'm a bit frazzled, I couldn't reject the day and doze off in front of the desk. I might as well switch my mood into the park. And after tidying up, I left the amusement park hoping to freshen myself. However, it turned out that I underestimated my enthusiasm for work, and when we met instead of queue, the unfinished design lingered in my head. Roy seemed to notice my absent manners, and after locking eyes with me, he furrowed his brow. You. Before he could continue, a cheerful whistle interrupted his word, and a girl with braid hair and a bee costume appeared next to us. The girl stared at, and it seemed that the whistle we just heard was from her. What's the matter? Roy asked tentatively, and he seemed surprised by the interruption. It was puzzled by the little girl's costume, and I looked around and spotted a poster for children's theater not far away. Roy, look. I thought Roy's leaving, signaling that it's a warm-up event for the theater troupe. Roy nodded, and just as we planned to pass a young actress, she stopped us. No, you two can go through. And our puzzled the girl stood proudly and declared, I enjoy Jojo, the guardian of this park, and I detected a smile of unhappiness in the two of you, so you can enter for now. Facing this up, proclaimed Joy B. Roy, and I exchanged glances. A smell of unhappiness. Roy's furrowed brow and clearly wondering if his statement made sense. It made sense to me. The smell of unhappiness was probably part of Jojo's performance. Even so, we went down to Jojo could instantly sense it. Sure, and I was a bit down due to work, but Roy, and I secretly glanced at Roy, who was consulting Jojo, trying to guess the reason for his unhappiness. About 2 weeks ago, I won 2 free tickets to the amusement park and a restaurant lottery. Well, Roy, look at this. Instead of showing the tickets to Roy, I received a bland response. Congratulations, you mentioned that you wanted to go to the park after work. And I was surprised that Roy remembered my casual remark and impulsively invited him. The owner said it's a 2-person package and there's more spot and want to come with me. Roy hesitated and his gaze avoided mine. And it was then when I remembered his past with the amusement park. And Roy spent precious time in the park with his younger brother, but then it's totally fine if you're busy. Yeah, cause his younger brother croaked. So, the amusement park carries heavy and bad memories. I tried to amend my impulsive offer, but Roy agreed. No, I'm free, let's go together. After Roy seemed serious, there was a hint of stiffness in his voice, and I must have been pushing him back then. So what do we need to go do to get through? His calm voice snapped me back to reality. His routine inquiry amused me. As a joy, it's my job to make sure only people with a big smile can pass. Unexpectedly, Roy listened without impatience and asked in all seriousness. I see. How are you going to do that? Confidently, Roy raised his finger, outlining her happiness rule. I had 3 rules that would make you happy. Sensing Jojo's fervor, I was about to politely decline this impromptu performance, but... Alright, we'll leave it to you. Shocked at Roy, who had accepted this task without a process, unsure what he's thinking. Before I could ask, Jojo whisked Roy away. And what kind of bat are you two putting on? and I muttered at the duo and disappeared into the distance. Ah, never mind, let's start and work on my design. Gorgeous and yet energetic. A moment later, Jojo and Roy appeared at the entrance. Roy looked a bit stiff holding a bunch of big-shaped cotton balloons, and as the colorful balloons fluttered in the air, the logo of the theater troupe caught my attention. And as if confirming my suspicion, Jojo grinned and introduced the first rule of happiness. Sharing is the principle of happiness, and let's start by handing out balloons. Isn't this just a way to get people to help promote the truth? As I complained to myself, Roy seemed to have also sensed Jojo's ulterior motives and furrowing his brow. Before we could adjust, children ready to enter the park suddenly walked towards us in response to Jojo's call. Artsy's sister, watch out. Excited kids jostled me and Roy with a low exclamation and reached out to steady me. However, in the next moment, he found himself surrounded by kids. Hold on a sec. Never looking this hour, Roy struggled to distribute the balloons in a crowded space, and the kids got balloons left with smiles, but Roy at the center was far from happy. Giggles escaped at his contact, but suddenly I heard an abrupt shudder from nearby. Following the sound, I saw Jojo running away with a camera, and shortly after Roy's job concluded and he approached me and fixing his disheveled clothes. Good job. You might have talent for dealing with children. Ignoring my teasing, Roy asked with a serious face. Did you see Yo-Yo? She seems to have taken my pass. Following Roy's suggestions, I also checked my pass and was surprised to find them missing. And Roy started thinking after I told him that Yo-Yo had run away. Right, and when you were getting ready, did she say anything? She introduced her troop and mentioned those 3 rules. And Roy mumbled softly and I cut out of the big custom not far away. Let's go. Oh yeah, so like the little demon robbed us. Time to go beat her up or something. Roy also noticed the figure running away and we chased after her. Yo-Yo moved fast and knew everything about the part and we lost track if we went for her conspicuous costume. And why should I give it to you? It's mine. As the turn crying short and arguing with each other blocked our way, and a boy holding a balloon was screaming at his companion. What? Hold on, let me find out. And we learned that the boy's friend had lost his balloon and was hoping the boy would share one with him. I don't want to, it's your fault, and why should I share mine? And seeing the deadline with her, Roy seemed to have got an idea and told me to come for the kids before leaving. And first, sharing isn't something you force on others. And second, you should be nice to your friends. And while I mediated the fight, Roy walked over with another balloon. Here, it's for you guys, and this was an extra one. And the kids ran off with the balloons and my mediation apologizing each other, holding hands as they laughed. Couldn't this also be a first full of happiness? My complaint on the kids' chiefs changed attitudes and sent Roy in thought. No, this should be the second rule of happiness Yo-Yo mentioned, helping others. Is she guiding us on what to do, and what about the third rule? While I started to examine the clues, Roy hesitated and pondered. And just then, Yo-Yo's 16 yellow and black outfit reappeared not far away, and we quickly caught up. And we continued chasing the elusive figure in the amusement park. Wait, I said. And I panted with exhaustion. Roy stopped and looked at me. Are you okay? I'm just a little bit tired, and let me catch my breath. And our customers might tie your legs, and when I raised him, Yo-Yo had already disappeared from our side. And she went that way, and let's rest a bit and leave later, just take a break. Roy received my concern and patted my back and helped me recover my breath. Alright, let's hurry over. And I took a deep breath and standing under Roy's worried gaze. Not far away, many children were playing in the SpongeBob pit, and I scanned the area but couldn't find Yo-Yo. Strange, she's not here. Let's look closer. Must be the work of an enemy stand. After a few steps, Roy squinted his eyes and looking ahead and said with a hint of uncertainty, "Is that our path?" And I fixed my gaze and then a ball pit and the password we're searching for. Artsy, wait. And I stopped and I jogged over to find Roy's spikes missing and just mine swinging along in the net wall. Just as I was about to tell Roy, that familiar bee costume flashed behind me and followed by to push me. What was going on? And my exclamation, Yo-Yo appeared and out of nowhere and pushed Roy into the ball pit. And I was also just started, but Roy steadied himself first and seeming to fall into the pit himself. Colorful balls floating beside me, and this combination was refreshing and unexpected suitable. And I thought about how unusual he wore plain clothes, and now in the addition to the colors. And whatever you're up to, can you please first? And what's driving me back to reality, and my gaze uncontrollably wandered, and it touched so close. And sensing my gaze, Roy glanced to the side and swallowed the words he was about to say. Because I probably wouldn't see this story without Yo-Yo. The children in the pit continued to play seemingly oblivious to our presence. Are you gonna keep staring at me? And his voice was somewhat raspy, and even his usual calm tone became strained. The makeup Yo-Yo help you with looks really cute. And I looked at the cute patterns, but I didn't match his vibe and not offering outward praise. And do you have anything else to say? Thanks, I guess. Roy let out a quiet sigh and I couldn't help but respond with an awkward smile. We stood up from the bed holding another pass he had finished out, and you probably wanted to send us to treasure hunt in the ball pit. What a special treasure hunt. I hope it's my last time. While I adjusted his disheveled clothes and from his cold side I sensed a sigh of resignation. And looking at his deranged appearance and even his wet hair dripping with water, I burst out laughing. Haha, we've been so manipulated. And hearing my merciless mockery, Roy's expression stiffened for a moment before revealing a helpless look. As long as you're happy. Happy, I suddenly realized that the troubles of war had been completely forgotten amidst the chase. Jojo's rules did guide us to happiness, and my mood lightened as I realized that Jojo had no malicious intent. Roy got changed quickly before we wandered about the park holding our pass. I got it. It's the embarrassment of all. That's the third rule of happiness. Roy nudged my teasing and told me to give it more thought. The park's announcement interrupted my interrogation, notifying us of the coming children's performance. When I exchanged a glance and decided to see the performance and sang the Joy Bee. When we arrived at the theater, the tour was already warming up. And looking about, the theater was filled with excited looks and visitors, and every seat was taken. Looks like we're late. As I arrived ready to leave in disappointment, Roy intercepted. Are you there for the show? Here, take our seats. Before we could refuse, the boys who met earlier gave us a seat. It's okay, we'll come back next time, and thank you for the balloons. The boys waved at us and left the theater, leaving Roy and me pleasantly surprised. We'll go these two get rewarded sometimes, I guess. Maybe it's the work of the rules of happiness. And I chuckled at Roy, and as the atmosphere heated up, the kids walked down the stage and interacted warmly with the audience. They're coming. And I couldn't help but laughing when my hands and when being surrounded by the bouncy kids. And maybe seeing Roy being unnatural, the kids discussed among themselves before coming towards us. Well, they are for us. And our carton bee headband, and I handed to me and the kids and pointed to me, surprised Roy next to me. Gave him a terrible hard stuff. Looks like they really want to thank you for the balloon distribution. Come on, Roy. And I gestured him to lower his head and was about to put on the fluffy ball bee headband for him. And a trace of self-consciousness flashed by Roy's face, but he bent over eventually in my unexpected gaze. The moment I put it on Roy's head, the performance and the stage reached its climax, and with ceremonial flowers exploding all about. And colored ribbons and starlight filled the theater as I cheered, and I was amazed, and even Roy was smiling too. The show featured Joy Bee spreading happiness concluded amid applause, and the audience started to leave. And Roy and I, on the other hand, stood up and went straight to the backstage. However, I requested to see Jojo and thanked her for put the manager on the spot. Sorry, but there isn't a Jojo in the troupe. Joy Bee Jojo is an imaginary character created by the children as a prototype for the current script. So who was the Jojo we saw? Puzzled, I encountered with experience to her, who smiled and said that Jojo was probably played by a young actress, and they probably wanted you both to enjoy the trip. So that's why she would appear anywhere. This heartwarming realization brought me a big smile, and after thanking the manager and the young actress, Roy and I returned to our seats. Hey, this is a photo from earlier. And our seat was the photo probably taken by Jojo at the entrance, and I could only vaguely see my own suppressed laughter before Roy swiftly snatched the photo away. Can I keep this photo? Roy asked, an unusual request that confused me. Sure, but why don't you want me to see it? Roy pursed his lips in a familiar sign of resistance, and luckily I had just a plan to handle this silence. Well, in exchange for the photo, you have to tell me the third rule of happiness. Fine. After some hesitation, Roy finally gave me and revealed the third rule that he had been hiding. Happiness is contagious, and when you make the people you care about happy, you'll be happy too. I see. And I burst out laughter, and it turned out today Joy Bee wasn't just a young actor, but also somewhat awkward Roy clumsily attempting to spread happiness. And what are you laughing at? Roy asked with a faint ignorance, and a grin reaching out to hold his hand. Nothing, just feeling really happy, that's all. I am back to the agency. How about you? On my way. Artsy's sister's energetic voice came to the phone reporting her safety, and then went back after the adventure in the amusement park. Everyone listened to her as she recounted the roller coaster event with a subtle smile. And by the way, what's in the photo? You already learned the truth in the exchange. And as I emerged from the phone and accompanied by a plea for complaints about Roy's deliberate mystery, taking the unexpected snapshot in hand, Roy examined it once again, and captured to George's leg as his sister was quietly laughing at his comical situation being circled by the kid brats, and watching not far away revealed a gentle smile in response to the girl's amusement. His reaction was too apparent and Roy was hesitant to reveal it to her. Nevertheless, it's great that I didn't turn her down. In the restaurant, as his sister's eyes gleamed with excitement as the winner her prize invited him over to join her. Roy didn't expect him to be her first choice for an invitation and hesitated. Despite a certain expectation in a hidden corner of his heart, the invitation came so sudden that his throat tightened and prevented his candid response. "Oh, it's fine if you're busy." As his sister misunderstood his pre-hesitation even though prepared an excuse for him to decline. Roy had no choice but to agree in a hurry despite the awkwardness of his tone. Later, his sister confirmed herself that the word for the day that Roy learned about from Barna, and Roy didn't want to disrupt her pace and patiently waited for her date. If the treat could change her mood, that would be great, but as his sister was clearly distracted by work even though she showed up for the day, and his mood also sank with even the prompt him to accept Joy B's request, and little did he expect that this unintentional act would lead them to a happy ending. And the coloring was Candace as his sister approached him with a smile to put the flurry headband on him, and at that moment Roy felt happiness rules were really working and he couldn't help but smile on his lips. The happiness melted in his heart and the smile they shared. Perhaps today will become a cherished memory. Hey, are you even listening? Yeah, I'm listening. Roy starts returned and his gaze once again fell on the photo on his hand. A cherished memory. Looking at the girl's smiling face, Roy smiled softly, and he received another gift from the trip to the amusement park, a precious memory with Artsy's sister. Alright, that's a good place to leave it. Bye bye and God bless.